Well, it's 10:02, so I think I'll start with a few announcements before I turn it over to so uh, Tarvis Hicks is our trainer from Iron Mountain, and he's going to be conducting this training, which we will be training is being recorded. One of the things is I want to stress is that this training is on IM Connect only. So IM Connect is the um, web client for Iron Mountain's record center and storage and such, and so it's the client web access. So please limit your questions to the IM Connect functions only. Um, we will have another meeting next month at some point to go over kind of the logistics and operational details of the transition from our current to new vendor. And so we'll go over that. So no questions on any of those, on anything other than what Tarvis will be going over this morning in IM Connect. So please keep your questions to only IM Connect. And what we'll be doing is we'll handle questions at the end. But if you have a pressing question as Tarvis is going over a section, you can put it in the chat, and then what we'll try to do is read it. I'll try to read it out, and then Tarvis can answer it in that way. And as he goes through a section, and if he wants to ask if there's any questions at that point, he will do so to check if there's anything like that. So one of the other things that as we're doing, we added inventory. The transition is a process, and so we began adding inventory into IM Connect, but we only added a limited amount of inventory, or only had the ability to do so by today. So if you do not see your information as we're going through this in there, don't panic. We're adding everything. That's kind of the reasons why I put in the email about this that wait until after July, at least July 3rd before you start going in there. And if at that point you still don't see it, contact Sharon, and she's working with Iron Mountain, and we'll be able to go through this with you and check up on that to see why you can't see that. And that's the same thing for certain RDAs and such. Everything is getting loaded in over the next week or so, and so we hope to have everything by July 4th, holiday break. By the time you get back from that, we hope to have everything in there and good to go. And then before I turn it over to Tarvis, the couple of just housekeeping things on this. We know you've been holding new boxes, and so because we don't want everyone trying to add it at once, there's there's a limit on how long it will stay in the system if we have to get to it. So if you're ready to start adding new boxes, after July 3rd, contact Sharon to coordinate, and then that way she can coordinate how that's going in, and so that we can have those pickups done in a timely manner and that it's not overload. And then just a reminder, there is a charge for labels with this, and also and I know we've sent this out, but we'll go over it more. But on each label, pen works, but there's boxes where you write 745XL. That's our overall client number with Iron Mountain. And what it is it's an extra fail-safe to be able to locate any state of Tennessee boxes. So that is required to write it on each label. And some people might say, oh, that's going to be difficult. I've been doing this. I've had to write it on a number of labels myself. It does not take that long. It doesn't take long at all. It's not difficult to do, and so that has to be written on every label. And then if you if you're going to need more than 300 labels at a time, contact Sharon first so that she can coordinate with Iron Mountain, the local operation, so that they make sure they have plenty to not only meet what you need, but also any other orders that are coming in. Okay. All right. So I will, once again, I will turn this over to Tarvis. And just bear with me as I am not the best at Teams. So give me a moment before I make him presenter. And Tarvis, I have turned it over to you. And let me know if you have any difficulties sharing or anything, and I will.
So good morning, everyone. So my name is Tarvis. I'm the lead software trainer here at Iron Mountain for Iron Mountain Connect. So I don't have the option to share, Kevin. It's not giving me the option to present my screen. And then I also just want to verify the agenda, which is sending in new boxes. So sending in boxes to be stored at Iron Mountain. And then I think I saw destruction and perming out boxes as well.
Yes.
Okay, so sending in new boxes. So that's going to be ordering supplies, sending new boxes, and then searching for them, and then taking them out of Iron Mountain if need be, and then the actual destruction process. And then I still don't have the option to share. It's not allowing me to share my screen out.
Okay, I just put, oh, no on destruction.
No on destruction. Okay, so just
yeah,
sending in, adding the data, and then sending in the boxes, and then retrieving them out.
Yes.
Okay.
And yeah, and I am trying to just.
Or I don't know, does someone else have the option to present? Because they can also share their screen as well,
Okay.
and I can kind of walk them through the process as well. And then at least they'll be able to see the real environment and not the demo environment. That's
Okay. Yeah,
that's an option also.
I'll do that right now. Just give me a moment to pull up Iron Mountain Connect. Okay. Tarvis, I'm going to share. And is that coming through okay?
Yes, so I can see it now.
Okay. I will mute myself and just follow your instructions.
All right, so this is going to be the home page of Iron Mountain Connect. So once you guys enter your login credentials, it's going to bring you to this landing page. Now, one thing I do like to highlight on the landing page is over to that right-hand side where it says Coach Me. So that Coach Me is going to be a virtual coach that will walk you guys through with step-by-step instructions. So it'll populate with on-screen instructions, and then you guys will just follow those instructions click by click. until it's telling you, until you completed the task or placed the order that you put in. So if you want to just choose one of those as an example, Kevin, so you could just click one just to show how it works. And then so click next. So see how it's populating with on-screen instructions telling you what to do. So that is what the Coach Me tool does. So it's going to tell you what to do click by click until you finish whatever task that you were needing assistance with. So if you guys ever get stuck in the process, you can start the Coach Me tool and that'll actually run to give you guys those on-screen instructions. Now, records management is where you guys are going to be going for the bulk of your tasks or what you guys would have to do in the actual software. So when you click records management, it's going to take you into the records management application. So we're actually going to go down to order supplies. So we're actually going to start the way the life of a box would start. So if you want to click that order supplies tab down towards, yep. So when you select order supplies, you're first going to choose an address to where your boxes and labels will be delivered. So when you're ordering those boxes and labels, which are going to be required for any new inventory you're sending into Iron Mountain, you're going to have to order those supplies first. So you're going to select an address to where the supplies will be delivered. So you can select any address for an example. All right, and then so here you guys would see your full list of supplies populate. So the labels are going to be your blue RFID labels that you're seeing here. Now your boxes are going to be the 2000 option. So it looks like Kevin, you may be limited to your supply list, but I know the boxes that we carry are going to be the 2000 option. So if you guys ever needed to order boxes through Iron Mountain Connect, which is those standard banker boxes, those are going to be the 2000 option. Now, your boxes aren't required. However, the labels will be required. So there, each box that you're sending in has to have a label on it because that's how we're going to identify it as well as connect the data to your inventory. Now, on that label, there's going to be a barcode number. That barcoded number is going to be your SKP barcode number. So there's a unique alphanumeric number for each label that you're placing on your box. And that is where you're going to get that Safekeeper Plus box number from, which we'll see in a second. Your labels are going to be different, so you'll never have the same box number. And again, that is required. That has to be on every box that you guys are placing for pickup to take into Iron Mountain. Now, most of the labels do come in bundle packs. So you see over there to the right side where it says bundle, and then it has 10 a pack in red. So most of them do come in bundles. So you want to make sure that you're ordering the correct quantity of labels because they do come 10 a pack. So if you needed 10, you would just put the quantity as 1. So just type 1 there and then select add to cart. And we're not going to process this order. Yep, so you would add them to the cart. So scroll up to your retrieval cart for me. So once you have the labels in the cart, you're then going to select that orange retrieval cart. Now you guys are implemented to select a specific build to department. So you will want to make sure you're selecting the appropriate build to department from that drop down. So you can just choose one for an example. Now, once you chose your build to department, we would go select next over to your right-hand side. Now, based upon the address that you provided, once you select next, it's going to update with the earliest available date that Iron Mountain can come out and deliver those supplies to you. Now, you would need to update the delivery contact over to your left-hand side with the person that transportation can call if there's any issues accessing the site. So if there's any issues accessing that location, if you want to be the contact person, you can choose that use my contact information and that'll auto-populate with your information. So just click it, Kevin, and it should auto-populate your info where it says use my contact information. Yeah, so it'll auto-populate your info if you're going to be the contact person, or you can manually type in that delivery contact field. Now, if you scroll up just a bit, so you can schedule this on a future date by accessing your service calendar as well. So if you don't want it to come the standard available date that Iron Mountain offers, then you'll be able to update that. So if you click schedule by, so select that schedule by and open the calendar. So this is where you'll be able to schedule that order on a future service date. And it looks like you guys are only going to be serviced on Mondays. So that area that you guys are choosing on the address, it shows on screen when you guys would be able to get those orders serviced. Now, carrier right below it, that's going to default to Iron Mountain. If you wanted to do customer pickup, you do have that option to do customer pickup, which is rare, but we still do give that option. And then we also give the option of third party as well. So if you're using a third party to deliver the box from, or deliver the boxes or labels from Iron Mountain to you guys, you will have to coordinate that on your own through that third party tab. But we do allow you guys to coordinate your own third parties as well. Now, email content.
Just Tarvis, if I can interject, we will be doing customer pickup all the time. A matter of fact, it'll be that'll be Tommy and Barry will be doing the ones for the customer pickup because if we need to do to always choose customer pickup and then it's only if we coordinate something larger and talk with Sharon ahead of time that we'll do Iron Mountain because we'll pick them up on those days. Okay.
All right. Now the email confirmation. So that's going to auto default. So you see how Kevin's email is already auto populated. That is because he's inside the Iron Mountain Connect account and he's placing the order. So that email confirmation is automatically going to default to that user placing it. But you have two additional email fields listed below. So where you guys would be able to enter any additional email confirmations. Yep, so right there is where you can add two additional emails for confirmation of the order. Now the order instructions field, if you guys ever needed any order instructions to be given to transportation, so if they needed to call someone, if they needed to check in with security, if they needed to use let's say like a docking station or a receiving station. So that is where you would be descriptive as possible in that order instructions field. So that way they know exactly what to do. But if you guys are going to be going to do customer pickup, then you wouldn't necessarily give any order instructions, but that field is there for you guys to utilize. Now, if you're going down towards the bottom, so scroll down to the bottom for me, Kevin. So that's just going to be your billing information as well as the labels or supplies that you guys are pulling out. And so once that's been updated accurately, now we're not going to place the order, but if you scroll up and click place your order, you're going to get an order number once you placed it. Now, within that order number, you'll be able to maintain the order within the first 5 to 10 minutes. After that 5 to 10 minute window has passed, you will want to utilize that chat feature that's down to the bottom. So that little black bubble, the little black and white bubble, that will connect you with an agent, and the agent will be able to maintain the order for you. All right. Now, that is how you guys would place your supply orders. So boxes are going to be the 2000 option. How do we add a new delivery address? So if you click, I think Sharon, I think we went over that as far as giving them access to add the addresses. Did we kind of solidify if they're going to be given the access to add addresses on the fly, or will you as an admin be adding it for them?
Currently, we are adding addresses for everyone.
Okay. Yeah, I know we talked about it, but I don't know if we streamlined it. I know that was something that we were still kind of debating on. So you guys would be contacting your admins, which are Sharon and Kevin, and then they would be adding the addresses in for you. So if you needed a new delivery address, you would just contact them because they would be your system administrators. Now, if you select that records management tab, so once you guys have the boxes and then you have your labels, so we want to go back into records management, and now we want to go to the pickups at records tab. All right, let me see, because I don't think, yeah, Kevin, I think your account may not be set up the way that, because you're supposed to have a tab that allows you to enter the box data. Give me 1 second. Let me add this onto your profile because, yeah.
Would it be better to have Sharon's screen up instead?
Yeah, let's see if Sharon, if you can share out your screen, because I think it's set up the way it would need to be on your profile. Oh, well, I do have the option now to share
Okay.
screen, but since you guys are in it, so click the pickup at records tab. Yeah, so close out of that and then select pickups add records. So here you're going to select, so this is how you guys are going to create the box. So once you have your labels, once you have your boxes, you're going to select your customer ID, which is going to be the 754SL, and then you're going to select add box. You're going to select the type of box, which is going to be the standard carton. And then so here is where you're going to enter all of the box information that has been required by your administrator. So that SKP barcode field, that's the RF number that you guys are going to get from your barcode label. So that's why it is imperative that you guys order the labels, because that's how you're going to enter that SKP barcode. Now here you're going to enter the box number. You're going to enter all required information, and then you're going to click save and close or save and add. Save and close will save the box to pick up, and then save and add will save the box, but it'll prompt you to start adding another box. So it'll just repeat the same cycle until you guys have added all of the boxes with their information into the system for pickup. Now, Sharon, you can create a dummy box and we can delete it. So if you just wanted to put something in those fields.
All of this, but it would be the title of the RDA.
All right. And then when you click save and close, put 8. the number 8. Yeah, I think it should. Yeah, and then click save and close. All right, so you see when she added the box, it appears down at the bottom as a new box. You can go in and make any changes up until we've arrived and scan it. So under that action icon, if you select action, you can edit or you can remove it. And then you'll also have the option to add that box to the cart. So that's how you guys would go in to enter your box data. Now you want to make sure that you're entering all required fields because it won't allow you to save the box until you guys have implemented data into that required field section.
And Tarvis, does this information only retain for a certain amount of time after adding a new box?
Yes, so it's going to be retained up until we scan and pick them up. So once we scan and pick them up, the information will disappear, but you guys have that export option. So if you click cancel, and then select cancel. So that export option over to your right-hand side, that'll export your pickup list. So all the boxes that you created with the data, that'll export your pickup list into an Excel CSV file. So you'll have a copy of your pickup list, but from here, you would select add to cart. So you've created the box. Now you want to add it to the cart for pickup. And now you're going to click that orange pickup card. All right, so here we're going to select next. You're going to select the address to where the boxes are located, so where we would need to go to pick them up. And then once you select that address, now will you guys be doing customer drop off for your boxes as well, or is that just for your supplies?
Customer drop off for each way.
Each way? Okay.
Uh-huh.
So you guys are going to select customer drop off. The pickup contact that needs to be updated with the person that transportation can contact or operations would contact for the order. So that's who they're going to email to give you guys the address as to where you will be delivering those boxes to. Now, same rule of thumb will apply. Email confirmation over to your right-hand side. You can list 2 additional emails as well as any order instructions. Now the order instructions field, you guys can list any order instructions for the pickup order. And then down at the bottom, so those are going to be the exact boxes that you guys are going to be bringing into Iron Mountain. So those are going to be brand new boxes. So we just want to make sure that that SKP barcode number is correct, because once we scan them, that's how we're going to connect the data that you guys have listed to what we scanned. So that is how the box information will be uploaded. Now we're not going to place the order, but when you click place your order, you're going to get an order number. That order number, you can maintain the order within the first 5 to 10 minutes of placing it. Once that 5 to 10 minute window has passed and you needed to maintain the order, that black and white bubble down at the bottom, that will get you connected to an agent, and that agent will be able to maintain the order for you. All right, so we want to make sure we're entering the box data. We want to make sure everything is inputted into the required field. You guys are going to be selecting customer drop off, and you guys are going to be placing the order. So let's see, we got a couple of, should we be able to see these? Also, mine does not have new box option. So Angela, when you say you don't have the new box option,
I will check on that for you later, Angela.
yeah, because I would have to actually see it to see what screen she doesn't see where it says new box.
If anyone is missing an address or any information such as the new box, if you will email me what you're missing, and I will check on it after the training.
There was also a question about will we have to use Iron Mountain boxes, or can we use our current clean boxes with new labels? You may continue to use clean boxes with new labels, the standard 1.2 box. And if you have questions on that, you can contact Sharon. And then the current labels on boxes, the labels currently on the boxes at VRC, will they be listed within this? And the answer to that is yes, we are. That is one of the fields that is being imported into this so that it will be available for reference. One of the things though is if you had a label, we don't want a label that was never, if you applied any VRC labels to a box, but it never ended up going over there, then I don't think we want to have that on there. So I think we want you to remove those if it's never been over at VRC. Okay. Thank you. Tarvis, all yours again.
All right, so select back to cart so we could just delete that box out and then empty. So click empty cart. And then we want to go click add more records over to your right-hand side. And then let's go under action and then let's remove this box. All right, so once we have the boxes, they're going to be moved to, so once they're fully inbounded, that's where you're going to go to that search and retrieve tab. And so under search and retrieve, this is where you'll be able to search for the boxes. Now, where it says customer and department, you'll be given access to only what you need access to. So Sharon has access to everything because she's an administrator, but you guys will only see those drop downs to what you would have access to. Now, you'll see those boxes appear here. You can search for it by the box number. So that's the quickest way to pull up your inventory. Or if you click the word box, any information that you guys entered, so any data that you see here, you can also search by as well. So you don't always have to know the box number. Any of the data that we captured, you can search by that data as well. Now, if you're ever looking to pull that box out of Iron Mountain, so if you wanted to permanently remove it out of Iron Mountain or retrieve it, so if you select close, in that Iron Mountain blue truck, so the blue Iron Mountain truck over to your right-hand side, that's going to indicate a physical retrieval. So you'll select that truck icon for each box that you want to pull out of Iron Mountain. Now, once you have all of the boxes added to the cart, you're going to select that orange pickup cart. So retrieval method, that's going to default to checkout. If you're looking to permanently remove them out, you'll need to select that drop down.
We're not set up that way. They would have to contact records management to perm out a box.
Ah, okay. Now, once you select next, that's just going to populate the address list to where the retrieval would need to be delivered. Now, if you guys are going to do customer pickup, so you guys are just going to select the customer pickup option, and then Iron Mountain is going to email you guys the address to where you would go to pick up the box. But same rule of thumb will apply. Delivery contact, we want to make sure that's updated. The email confirmation, we want to make sure if anybody else needs confirmation of this order to add the additional emails, as well as any order instructions. Now, once you click place order, you'll get an order number, and then you'll be able to maintain that order within the first 5 to 10 minutes of placing it. And of course, if you needed to maintain it after that, you will reach out to the care team using that chat feature, and they'll be able to maintain the order for you. Yep, so if you want to select back to cart, and then just empty the cart. So we touched on ordering the supplies, entering the data, scheduling the pickup, and then searching for the inventory, as well as if you guys need to receive it out or permanently withdraw it, you would need to contact records management. Was there anything that I missed on the agenda that the users would need to know?
Did we do a refile?
Refile. So under pickups, add records. So when you're needing to put the box back in Iron Mountain, you'll select refile box. and then you're just going to select the customer ID, and then you're going to copy and paste or enter the box number that you guys are going to be returning.
And Tarvis, is this where it will only accept the SKP barcodes?
Yes, so that is only going to accept the SKP barcode number.
And after that's pasted and you hit search,
You'll click search, it'll come up, and then you'll select it, and then it'll add that box to the cart for refile.
and at that point, they could select the department
Yes, correct.
assigned to them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, correct. That's where they'll be able to select the department that's assigned to them, and then they'll be able to place the pickup order for that specific box for a refile. So they're going to be putting that back into storage.
I think that's it. Kevin?
Yes, because we'll have our for anything like permanent removals or destruction, that's all going to go through records management, Sharon, to handle. So this allows you to be able to order labels, order boxes, as well as refiles, and how to do, and then the new. So, and then there's a question. I see that the IM box number is 9 digits instead of 8 digits. Is the RF in front of the box number actually part of the box number, or do we need to, for reference? And then how will this affect referencing VRC numbers? Okay, so Tarvis, can you answer the question about the IM box number?
Yes, so your Iron Mountain Connect, so that SK, not Iron Mountain Connect, sorry, Iron Mountain box number. So the SKP barcode, that RF is a part of the number. So the RF and then whatever number comes after that, that's going to be your whole entire Safekeeper Plus box number. So when you're entering it into the system, you do have to include that RF piece because that is a part of the actual box number.
Okay, and how will this affect referencing VRC numbers? So if they wanted to do a search,
So
if
yes,
they were within,
you could, Tarvis, is it correct? They could paste the box number, VRC box number here to search if it's in the descriptive field.
Yeah, so if it's in one of the descriptive fields, then you guys can paste that VRC number into your search field and you can pull it up that way as well. So as long as you enter it in one of those data fields, then it'll pull up when you're searching for it.
other questions that anyone may have? Okay. There's a question asking if we wait to July 3rd to order labels.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Because as we're still getting everything in, we want to make sure that we have all the addresses in right, that we have all the billing codes, everything in correctly to make sure. And also we have to get past the, you know, how the end of the year, end of the fiscal year, items, billing, kicks in, having to have everything in. So, but good question. Thank you. So is there a limit to how many new boxes can be entered into the system per day? Tarvis, is there?
No. So there is no limit to the amount of boxes that you guys can create for new inventory. You can bring in however many you need.
Tarvis, is there a limit that the boxes will remain in inventory in IM Connect if they are not scheduled for pickup?
Now, you will want to make sure that when you're creating the boxes, at least go ahead and schedule the pickup, or if not, that time frame. So we typically say don't let it sit in the cloud for more than 2 weeks, because the way it's designed is that you're creating the box, and then once you create the box, you're adding it to the cart, and then you're sending it off to Iron Mountain immediately. But we know that doesn't typically work for all customers. So you can at least let it sit for 2 weeks, but it shouldn't sit longer than 2 weeks. So create as many boxes as you can within that 2-week time frame, and then schedule the pickup. But
Yes,
there's
so it,
no minimum that or maximum that you can create within that 2 weeks. Like if you wanted to create 1,000 in the 2 weeks, you can. It's not going to stop you in the system.
it's not going to stop, but however, I wouldn't suggest anyone do that unless we've already spoken to have anything over 30 boxes scheduled on the schedule to be picked up, because they could be removed from the system before we have it on the schedule.
Okay. There's another question that is it okay to have unused VRC labels on new boxes if they are covered by a new Iron Mountain label?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
okay.
we spoke with the operations team with Iron Mountain, and they said that it's okay to cover any VRC labels on the existing boxes as long as they have never been in storage with VRC.
Okay. So, good question. Other questions? Okay, there is a question about no specific size for boxes. Actually,
Yes.
much as there is a specific size for boxes, it's that standard, you know, what is it, 10 by 12 by 15, or, well, yeah, 15 by 12 by 10, you know, depends on how you want to go by saying it, but that's the standard size. And that's the size that we've been using, for at least 13 years. And I know records management was using it before I was even here. So we want to, you know, what's referred to as the standard 1.2 cubic foot. And that's, you know, 15 by 12 by 10 inch box. So is there a particular place on the label that we need to write 75? Is it S as in Sam or X as in X-ray, Sharon?
S is in Sam. 754
Okay,
SL.
Okay, so 754 SL, S is in Sam, L as in Lima.
Yes.
So
Customer number here.
there's actually little boxes right on there that allow you to write 754 Sierra Lima. So SL. How will we export a report to show all our boxes stored with IM?
As I have what we currently have, you would hit export. Is this correct, Tarvis?
Yeah, so that'll export the search results. But you guys should be able to utilize that because you won't. So it's only going to export the first 5,000, but you guys aren't, I don't think you guys are at 5,000 as of yet. So you can click that export option and that'll give you a full listing. But the actual report itself, that's going to be on the home page in the report center.
Oh, okay.
So if you go down to the bottom to the report center, so the category you're going to select is inventory, and then service area, that's going to be your record center. And then it's going to be cart and inventory. So you're going to select the title where it says cart and inventory. And then that is how you're going to select the accounts and click submit. And that'll generate all of the boxes that you guys have at Iron Mountain.
I guess you could select either way. You would want the long description.
Yep. So long description, if you're entering data, I would definitely select that long description field so you can see it on the actual report. And then once you click submit, it'll send you an email once the report is ready. And then you'll access that report under the My Recent Report tab.
So, when you're done with that, I'll go to the next question. Is that it on the reports? And if you ever have a question on running the reports, or if you're having issue like too big or something, contact Sharon and she'll check in up on it. Question is, will VRC boxes be assigned an IM number as well? Well, yes, they will be given, they will get an IM number, IM label during the transition process. So every box currently at VRC, or if it's a box that you already have that's waiting, that you would have been returning to VRC, but it will be returned to Iron Mountain upon arrival. It will be given an IM label and a box number on that. And then, is there a particular place on the box that the label has to be placed? Yes, the lower right corner on one of the handle sides, the same place we've been doing it. If there's a VRC label there currently, to go right above it or right next to it. Is that correct, Sharon?
Yes. And please do not remove any labels, pre-existing labels from any boxes unless it has never been in storage. Like a new box you've never sent to storage with VRC.
All right, so question, will we access Richards and Richards and Foremost numbers the same way as VRC numbers through the description?
Yes, you could copy and paste the number and search if it's in the descriptive field.
Yeah, so
Here.
the Richards and Richards or Foremost numbers will not have their own dedicated field, kind of like what we're doing for the latest box number from VRC. But if it was in one of your descriptive fields, I think it's, Sharon said, we think it's long description currently.
Yes.
It'll be there, so you could try to search for it that way.
Yes, it would be in the long description field.
Good questions.
Now, Sharon, if you want to go to the home page really quickly, just to show them that additional resource tab. So you see down on the left-hand side where it says resources. So that resources tab, that's going to show you the additional training document. So if you select resources and then select training, so those are going to be training documents as well as how-to videos that can also help you if you guys are getting stuck, as well as the Iron Mountain Connect live training schedule. That's for you to join a live training class. Now, this would be other companies in the class, but it would be good if you guys just needed a refresher. You can always join those classes if the time that we have them is something that fits in your schedule. And typically the classes are hour long.
Does anyone else have any questions? If not, what we can do is that, thank you. Yeah, if there are no more questions, thank you, Tarvis. So one of the things I want to say is, if everyone would hang on a couple of extra minutes, Sharon's going to go over a couple of things to a little further instructions on customer pickup, some of the unique things that we have for of how we'll be doing, and kind of giving you an idea of you know, notations to make that will help Tommy and Barry as our team as they go out and do all that. But if we don't have any other questions, I'll say thank you to Tarvis and appreciate you going through all this for us.
No problem. You guys are welcome. As always, definitely feel free to reach out if you guys needed any additional assistance or any help troubleshooting any accounts.
Thank you, Tarvis.
All right,
Thank
no
you, Tarvis.
problem. You're welcome. You guys have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.
We just wanted to go over a little bit because Iron Mountain services a large number of companies outside of the state. So our operations are a little bit different than what he had described when he was processing an order. So for instance, if you're ordering anything, but I'll go through the supplies order to get there, once you select your address, the quantity of labels or the box, and you get to the cart, all of our, with records management, all deliveries are scheduled for next day delivery as long as they are entered into IM Connect by 11 a.m. And Iron Mountain has a strict cutoff for 11 a.m. Anything after that would be considered an emergency request. So you would need to reach out to me or to records management for anything that you absolutely needed after 11. It's always going to be standard shipping priority standard, and it's always going to be customer pickup unless we have spoken beforehand and set something other than that up. He went over the additional emails, but on order instructions, this is if we have a lot of people AWS, and if you're going to be out of the office and you have another contact picking the box or signing for the box for you, if you would include their name and number and their exact location. A good contact number, such as a cell phone, so Barry or Tommy could call to locate where you're at, or if you're not going to be in the office and another person here, the exact floor you're on, or any other information that you would feel pertinent to make the delivery. And this box would be on for any ordering labels, sending a box, retrieving a box. And the other thing with the chat box, we will only utilize this if you need to cancel an order. And like Tarvis said, that's usually within 5 to 10 minutes of adding an order. Anything after that, the order will probably have to be processed. And if it is processed, we can cancel it, but there could be potential charges for anything after that 5 to 10 minute time frame after it's entered. Does anyone have any questions over?
Yeah, and as Sharon's mentioning, Iron Mountain is very strict on the cutoff times and such. So if you send it in and it hits 11:02, 11:01, it will be the following day. It will be say it was, you know, today, a Thursday, and you put it in at, you know, and you got it in now at 10:58, you would get it on Friday. If you get it in at 11:01, it'll be on Monday. So this is one of those things that you either, you want to either get it done early in the morning, or, you know, you do it in the afternoon, you know, it's going to be in two business days. They are very strict on these things. And, you know, just keep in mind, there's always, you know, as we've said for years with Richards and Richards and VRC, there's always anything that's an emergency. There's a steep increase in cost. So,
yeah,
just be aware.
So, and for this reason, please don't enter any orders early on Monday if you need it for Friday. And even if you add that to the notes, please remember to enter it. Everything is next day and consider that. There's a question, are all deliveries of labels for next day delivered to Sharon, the records management, or to the delivery address? To the delivery address. So that's what we're saying. Barry and Tommy will pick it up from Iron Mountain and deliver it to, as if it was a box, to the delivery address. You know, the usual, as long as it's, you know, the Nashville area delivery address. And then as long as we select standard, there's no risk of extra costs, correct? Correct. And then will our inventory be online by July 3rd, such that we can edit the long description if needed? I hope so. The data transfer is currently ongoing, I guess, is the way. As you can imagine, this is a massive data transfer, because it's not just the there's just the whole, you know, the whole box history for everything in there. There's data, and we have over, you know, currently in storage over 150,000 boxes, but there's also you know, other boxes, destruction, everything. So there's quite a bit of information that has to be done and has to be ingested into the new one. So hopefully after July 3rd, you can start going through and editing things in IM Connect. Did you see Angela's question? The price list?
Oh, okay. We are working on the new price list. Yes, the costs are comparable to VRC. There's some things that are a little bit less expensive. There's a couple of items that are a touch more, and services. Most of them are about the same. The state, you know, obviously with a contract this size, has a lot of guess you would say, buying power, right? So we do get better than market price from the vendors due to our size. So it is very comparable, but we are working on getting everything edited and to have a new price list for you, which is what we usually do in July each year. So I hope to have that posted next week as well. Do we know when we can begin destruction? We'll talk more about that when we're able to do a town hall, hopefully in 2 or 3 weeks. And then can go into it more with when we do our operations training in August. Another question is, is there specific information that must be entered in the major description, minor description, etc., if entering new boxes? Sharon?
We're still discussing this, but we're leaning towards the RDA title and major description. But we'll give you a definite answer when Kevin does the town hall in a few weeks over what to enter here. We're trying to keep it uniform, so when it'll be easier for everyone to locate a box, but currently we're working on that.
Yeah, so one of the things that due to the fact that the state within the last 20 years, we've went from the state had its own facility, went to Richards and Richards, and had, those were 2 data sets, and then VRC purchased Richards, and now we're moving to Iron Mountain. One of the things that can sometimes happen, and I've seen this in my career, is that as you take over, you migrate systems, sometimes it becomes difficult to find. So that's why we're looking at potentially setting up major description or minor description, but one of those as it's the RDA title. And so that way you can always do that so that it matches up and so that someone 10, 20 years from now, they can still look something up that way, since that is something that does not really change. And so we'll be, we're trying to find ways to assist agencies, especially since you don't always know what the, some of you are inheriting naturally just data sets that are maybe not the way you would do it. So we want to come up with that. Question is, will we be limited to how many labels we order when creating new boxes in large amounts? There are only 10 labels in an order, right? So if you need more than 300 labels, contact 300 or more, contact, so that would be 30 packs or more. Contact Sharon first so that we can go through, she can go through and we can discuss, getting you that volume of label packs to make sure, because we try to, let the local office know, because they may have 20,000 labels or 30,000, whatever it is. They have tens of thousands of them in the Nashville office, but they need a little advance warning if all of a sudden so if we have, if I've all of a sudden got 10 agencies each asking for 500, that can, and they also have to service their other customers. So we want to make sure we're giving them a heads up anytime we're getting over 300 so that they can already have in the pipeline replacement amounts. We understand we're going to have a lot coming in now, and they're preloading with thousands of labels just for us, but we want to make sure. And then that way we can make sure we get those to you, and so that we can go over with you again about, as you're adding this in, that you're aware that, so we can, if you're entering 300 boxes, that we have an idea of being able to pick them up in the next 2 weeks or so, as Sharon and Tarvis mentioned, 2 to 3 weeks. Okay. Was there anything else you wanted to go over, Sharon, that Tarvis mentioned that we want to clarify?
No, a lot of the information we'll go over when Kevin does the town hall. But if you've logged in and you can't, if your address looks incorrect or something missing from it, just shoot me an email and let me know. The statewide, if you can't see those, we're still working on adding those. Hopefully by July 3rd, they will be in the system as well. But if you just have any questions, just give me a call or shoot me an email and we will go over the questions. Do you have anything, Kevin, you want to add or?
No, as you mentioned, we just want to make sure that we got this out there at the beginning as we're starting this, and as I mentioned, I'm going to have more answers on the whole transition process and everything, and I'll do a town hall so that we can then talk more about kind of the operational details of the transition and how the pace of boxes being moved. Right now, because, and by the way, this is standard. Anytime you have to transfer your records from one record center to another one. When I was up in Ohio, I did this one time with the county, switched to a vendor, and I had to lock down the thin client, the web client for the county agencies so that nothing could, you have to have things so that the data set's clean and not change. There's no changes going on during the transfer. And so you have to do that. And that's why right now you have to, if you need something and you have to have it, it's an emergency from VRC, contact Sharon, because they've got to do that so that they can transfer over something clean to Iron Mountain. So I'll go over all of that. So, and then there was a question. Yes, we are recording this and we will make it available as a refresher. And so we'll, once this is done, we'll get it over to our, communications department, see if they can edit it, make sure everything sound, there's sometimes things like that they have to do. And then we'll try to make it available as soon as we can. All right. Well, thank you everyone for great questions and for your patience with us during all this process. And I hope everyone has a good rest of the week, a good weekend, and a good 4th of July.
Thanks, everyone. Yes, all deliveries of labels are next day. And they are delivered to your address.